My dear child, I've been watching your life in silence, not a silence of abandonment, but of preparation. While you wondered if I was really listening, I was taking care of your path and arranging your future with attention. Today, I want you to know the time for change has come. It's not just about moving from one place to another, but about beginning a new phase with new purposes. Transformations are happening around you, even if you can't see them yet. Deep down, you already feel it, that restlessness, that sense that something different is about to begin. It's me. I've been loosening the grip of the old so that you could step fully into the new. What you once called comfort has become a cage. What once fit your spirit now feels tight around your soul. That's not failure, that's growth. Your prayers have reached me, and I have responded by preparing the space where you will no longer survive. You will thrive. This is not just about where you live. It's about where you belong. I'm not simply relocating your body. I am realigning your destiny. Every tear you cried behind closed doors, every moment you stayed faithful when no one was watching. I counted it all. Nothing was wasted. And now, the reward I have designed is not just a blessing, it's a transformation. A holy exchange is taking place. I am taking the sorrow that once filled your nights and replacing it with a peace that will echo through your days. I am turning disappointment into design, delay into divine appointment. You've sensed it, haven't you? The shift in conversations, the restlessness around familiar faces, your new address, the dreams that feel too real to ignore. It's not random. It's not imagination. These are spiritual signposts I've placed along your path. When relationships shift, when comfort begins to break, when old things lose their shine, it's because I've already begun packing your spirit for a new place. Heaven doesn't move suddenly. It moves spiritually first. That's why your heart feels it before your feet do. That's why your soul stirs before your surroundings change. You may feel a tension in this moment, caught between the promise and the place. But child, trust me, you are not losing stability. You are gaining sacred ground. I am not subtracting from your life. I'm multiplying what you never thought possible. The place I'm taking you will not require performance. It will not demand pretending. It will not drain your spirit to maintain a false peace. This new space, your new address, is a home for your whole self, not the version others tolerate, the version I created, the version that breathes freely, loves deeply, stands fully. Let me show you what this place feels like. Before you ever step into it with your body, I want you to taste it with your spirit. It feels like walking into a room and not needing to explain why you're there. It feels like waking up without fear. It feels like taking a breath and knowing, really knowing, that you are safe and seen and home. You've lived long enough in places where you had to hide pieces of yourself, in rooms that couldn't hold the weight of your calling, in rhythms that wore you down instead of building you up. That ends now. I've prepared more for you. You are being moved into healing, into clarity, into alignment, and yes, into unknowns. But these unknowns are not chaotic. They're divine. They are filled with my fingerprints. You don't have to force it. You don't have to fight for it. Just follow the peace. Follow the glow that I've set before you like a lantern in the dark. The doors I am opening cannot be shut. The land I am giving cannot be taken. The favor I am pouring cannot be stopped. You've waited long enough. You've wandered long enough. Now you're being brought into the very thing your spirit has longed for. Since the beginning, even if everything around you still looks the same, trust me, the move has already started. Not in trucks, not in paperwork, but in your spirit. That's why your energy feels different. That's why your old habits are shedding without effort. That's why people who once stood close are stepping away. That's why new connections are forming. Out of nowhere, you are not broken. You are being repositioned, and every change, even the uncomfortable ones, is part of my divine choreography. You don't have to carry old baggage with you. This move isn't about dragging your past into your promise. It's about traveling light, Let go of the shame others gave you. Let go of the guilt you weren't meant to wear. Let go of the lie that you're not enough or too much, or somehow always missing the mark. You are exactly who I made you to be. No more shrinking, no more the throne room settling, no more spiritual homelessness. This time, the home I'm giving you is tailored to your spirit. There is a reason you're hearing this now. There is a reason. This message didn't come earlier or later. Because the coordinates of heaven are aligned for this moment. Your name has been called in the throne room. Your story has been marked for movement. This is more than timing. This is appointment, and I do not waste divine appointments. If things feel like they're falling apart, remember this. I often break down what is temporary so that I can rebuild what is eternal. Trust the breakdown. It's the language of birthing. The discomfort is not danger. It's confirmation that your soul is being prepared to rise. You're not being punished. You're being positioned. You're not being abandoned. You're being advanced. There will be moments where fear tries to talk louder than faith. Let it pass. You don't have to entertain it. I've already gone ahead of you. Angels have already walked the hallways of your new space. They've touched the walls, opened the windows, and whispered your name into every room. Archangel Michael is securing the borders. Gabriel is announcing the shift. Raphael is healing what was wounded in the last place so that you don't carry infection into the next. Your guardian angels, they are closer now than they've ever been. Holding your hand, brushing your shoulders, guiding every unseen step. Elevation, this isn't about escape. It's about elevation. It's not about running from, it's about rising to. The door is open, child. You don't have to force it. You only have to walk through if it feels unfamiliar. Good. That's how you know it's me. I never call you to what you can already explain. I call you to what you can only believe. And this move requires belief. Bold, trembling, holy belief. So when you wake tomorrow and everything still looks the same, remember this. It's not the scenery that proves the move. It's the stirring in your spirit. The sense that something's already different, that you don't fit here like you used to, that your spirit is reaching forward while your feet are still catching up. That's confirmation. That's me. That's movement. You didn't find this message by accident. You didn't click by coincidence. Heaven sent it to confirm what I already placed, packing inside you. So begin to pack, not just your things, but your thoughts. Begin to release, not just your space, but your story. Begin to rise, not just in posture, but in purpose. You are going somewhere holy. You are becoming someone whole. The address, it's not on a street, not in a city. It's written on the walls of your heart. It's where your soul will rest and your purpose will rise. It's the place I prepared while you were still in the fire. The home preparation that fits the healed you. It's closer than you think. And heaven is already there waiting. My beloved child, now that you've heard my voice, now that your spirit has felt the weight of what is coming, I need you to understand this. The preparation has not been wasted. Every moment you questioned your worth, every hour you stood in silence when others celebrated loudly, every place where you were overlooked. Those were the sacred rooms where I was refining you for where I'm taking you next. You thought I had forgotten, but I was watching, storing every tear like treasure, writing your endurance into the foundations of your future. You were not being delayed. You were being deepened. There is a reason the shift didn't come sooner. You would have carried too much with you. You would have settled for a version of promise built on survival. But I have waited until your roots grew strong enough to hold the weight of what I'm about to release. You've been hidden on purpose, not to punish you, but to protect you. I needed to grow your strength in silence, so when I raised you in public, the wind couldn't tear you down. This next move, Royal Invitation, is not a rescue mission. It is a royal invitation. You're not being dragged out. You're being called forth. Listen closely. The atmosphere around you is already shifting. You've been hearing whispers in your sleep, feeling the flutter of revelation between breaths. This is not your imagination. These are signals from heaven, echoes of the next chapter beginning to vibrate into your now. You're not crazy. You're being awakened. That tightness you feel around certain people, that weariness when you walk into familiar spaces, that's your spirit, telling you you've outgrown the old wineskin. You've been trying to make peace with a place that can no longer hold your purpose, and I won't let you stay where you don't belong anymore. Let me be clear, I am not leading you into confusion. I am leading you through clarity disguised as discomfort. The endings you didn't expect, the conversations that turned cold, the doors that seemed to slam without warning. None of it was by accident. You asked me to open the way, and sometimes that means I must close what you were afraid to release. You saw loss, but I saw alignment. You saw failure, but I saw freedom. I am not tearing you down, tearing away the veil. I am tearing away the veil so you can finally see who you are becoming. Don't be surprised if familiar voices grow silent. Don't be shaken if old alliances unravel. You've been trying to take everyone with you, but child, not everyone was assigned to your destiny. Some were only meant to walk with you to the edge of this shift. And now I am calling you deeper, alone but not lonely, surrounded but set apart. This is your Jordan River moment, the place where you must step forward even if your foot trembles. I've already gone before you. I've already cleared the waters. All I need is your yes. The path signs will be clear, always look obvious, but the signs will be clear. That text that made your heart drop, that dream you can't seem to shake, that moment where everything familiar suddenly felt foreign. These are not interruptions. They are confirmations. I'm speaking through symbols, through timing, through diviner direction. I'm using even the inconvenient things to align you with glory. Even the broken pieces are part of the puzzle. What you call mess, I call map. And here's something sacred, the pain you endured in silence, the betrayal that tried to bury you, the shame that whispered lies in the night. This is a holy crossing. None of it will come with you. You're not carrying those ghosts into this next season. This is a holy crossing. Only what is healed can follow. That's why the process has been so heavy. You're not just packing boxes, you're packing identity. You're not just moving homes, you're moving into wholeness. And every ounce of resistance you feel is simply the weight of chains snapping off. I know you've questioned me. I know you've asked why. Why the wait? Why the wilderness? Why the weeping when others seem to rejoice? But beloved, don't confuse silence with absence. I was never far. I've been speaking through the stillness. I've been guiding in the dark, and now I am ready to reveal what I've been building behind the veil, this move you're stepping into. And it's not a small upgrade. It's an unrecognizable transformation. You won't just see change, you'll be changed. Remember how you used to settle? Remember how you shrunk yourself to fit into rooms that didn't honor your brilliance? That's the new space over now. No more apologizing for your anointing. No more bending to make others feel comfortable. The new space I've prepared for you doesn't ask you to dim your light. It was designed for your glow. It's a place of freedom, a place where you will no longer carry everyone else's expectations on your back. You're being called into a rhythm that matches your spirit, not your performance. And yes, it might feel strange at first. The unfamiliar often does. But don't let comfort deceive you. You were never meant to stay in the shallow end. You were born for deep waters, and I am calling you to swim in the currents of my promise. You'll know you're on the right path, not because it's easy, but because it brings peace that doesn't make sense, because your spirit exhales even when your mind still has questions. That's how my presence feels, not logical but undeniable. In the days ahead, listen carefully. There will be whispers in the wind, nudges in your gut, random moments that feel like more than coincidence. Don't brush them off. These are holy breadcrumbs, signs that the journey has begun. Even if your surroundings haven't changed yet, your assignment, as you are not the same, you've outgrown the version of yourself that tolerated what was never aligned. And now I'm pulling you into the season where the version of you I originally dreamed begins to rise. Do not be afraid of leaving behind what no longer fits. The unknown may feel vast, but I've gone ahead of you. The angels are already stationed. The atmosphere is already prepared. You won't be walking into an empty space. You'll be stepping into a place that's already been filled with glory. The air will feel lighter, the weight will lift, and you'll realize this isn't just a move, it's a resurrection. The part of you that was buried by disappointment is coming back to life. So be gentle with yourself. Give yourself permission to weep and rejoice in the same breath. The ache and the awe can coexist. Let your heart expand without needing to understand every detail. You are not behind. You are right on time, right on schedule, right where I designed you to be. The world may not see it yet, but heaven does, and soon so will you. I have written your new address, and no one, no force, no delay, no doubt can take it from you. The door is open. The path is lit. The angels are waiting. Keep walking, child. You are almost home, my precious child. Even now, as you sit with these words stirring in your spirit, heaven is still unfolding the next layer of your journey. There are things I've hidden in the silence, not because you weren't ready to receive them, but because the season had not yet. Things are shifting, ripened, but now things are shifting swiftly. What once felt distant is drawing near. What once felt impossible is quietly becoming your reality. You may not see the full picture yet, but piece by piece, I'm revealing the masterpiece I've been painting. Behind the veil, there is a sacred tension in this moment, the space between where you are and where you're going. I know you feel it like the pull of gravity from a place your feet haven't touched yet, but your spirit already calls home. Don't resist the stretch. Let it make you fluid, teachable, open. This is not the time to cling to what's fading. It's time to make room for what's about to arrive. You've spent long enough asking for signs. Now I am asking you to become one, a living testament of faith, transition, and transformation. I have seen you try to hold together things that were unraveling. I've watched you pour yourself into people and places that could never hold the weight of your heart. But child, what you thought was transition and transformation falling apart was actually falling into place. Sometimes I must allow things to collapse, not to punish you, but to prepare the foundation for what's next. And what's next cannot be built on broken agreements or expired expectations. You've tried to make old wine flow through new wineskins. It's time to let that go. This new season isn't about returning to something familiar. It's about stepping into something never seen before. You've walked through fire and you didn't burn. You've sat in silence and still held on to hope. You've wrestled with my promises in the dark, yet you didn't let go. And now the reward is coming, but it won't look like the version the reward is coming imagined. It will look better, brighter, holier. I'm not giving you what you asked for. I'm giving you what your spirit needed, even when you didn't have the words to pray for it. Don't be surprised if people misunderstand this season. Not everyone can comprehend a shift they haven't been called to. Some will question your peace. Others will wonder why you've changed. Let them wonder. You don't owe anyone an explanation for the alignment I've placed upon your life. What I'm doing in you now is not for validation. It's for destiny. And not all can follow where it's for destiny you are going. You must learn to bless and release, to love without needing to carry. The journey ahead is sacred, and not everyone was called to walk it with you. There will be moments where you are tempted to turn back, to shrink, to turn to the safety of what was. But remember, comfort is not always confirmation. Familiarity is not always faith. I am not in the places where you merely survive. I dwell. in the places where you rise. And this season will demand your rising in thought, in discipline, in faith, in vision. You can I dwell in the places where you rise, no longer afford to play small when heaven has written greatness over you. Let me tell you about this new place. It is drenched in peace. It breathes freedom. It doesn't just reflect your healing, it amplifies it. You will walk into rooms where you no longer need to prove your worth. You will find yourself in conversations where your voice is valued, not silenced. You will experience joy, not the fleeting kind. This new address is not just physical, but the kind that settles into your bones and stays. This new address is not just physical, it is spiritual. It is the place where you finally walk as the version of yourself I always saw, even when you couldn't see it. This move, my child, is not just about geography. It's about inheritance. There are blessings attached to your name that you have yet to claim. Not because I was withholding them, but because your heart needed time to grow into the weight of them. You've matured in silence. You've expanded in secret. And now I am about to place in your hands what you once thought had passed you by. Not as a reward for perfection, but as the fruit of faithfulness. You've walked with integrity when no one applauded. You've forgiven when bitterness would have been easier. You've held on to me when everything else told you to let go. And I have. Not missed a moment of it, not one gesture, not one tear, not one quiet decision to trust me again. I've stored them all, and now I will release the blessing pressed down, shaken together, and running over, not just around you, but through you. This move is generational. The decisions you've made in private are shifting things for those who come after you. You may not see the full impact now, but your obedience is creating pathways of light for others to follow. That's why the warfare has been so intense. That's why the weight felt like it would break you. Because what you're birthing isn't ordinary. It's legacy, it's freedom, it's deliverance disguised as relocation. I know there are still questions in your heart. What if I'm wrong? What if I heard wrong? What if I fail? But beloved, hear me. You are not moving by guesswork. You are moving by divine instruction. And I don't lead my children halfway. If I called you out, I will carry you through. If I open the door, you don't have to figure out every detail, sustain you behind it. You don't have to figure out every detail. You only need to trust the one who wrote your name on the map of glory. I'm not asking for perfection. I'm asking for partnership. Walk with me, even when it's unclear, even when it's slow, even when it's silent, because in every moment I am preparing the atmosphere ahead of you. The address I've written is more than a location. It is a place where miracles feel normal, where favor meets you at every turn, where you don't have to fight to be seen, because you'll be seen. Transitions are sacred through my eyes. So don't rush this process. Transitions are sacred. Let me finish what I've started. Let me complete the unfolding. I promise when you arrive, you'll understand why the journey took as long as it did. You'll see the beauty in the detours. You'll thank me for the pauses, and you'll weep with joy over the view, not because it's perfect, but because it was designed just for you. Stay with me, child. You are not wandering. You are being led, and you are not wandering. Your steps are being ordered into destiny. My beloved child, now you are standing at the edge of something eternal. The threshold of your new place is not just a doorway, it is a divine line drawn by my hand. You have walked through valleys, passed through fire. Look where you are, and stood in storms that tried to convince you to turn back. But look where you are now, closer than you've ever been. The shift you felt was not a guess, it was not a dream. It was the gentle thunder of heaven breaking through the silence, calling you forward with holy precision. And now it's time. This move is no longer just an idea lingering in your heart. It is real, and the evidence is everywhere if you look with your spirit. The way the things that once fit now feel foreign. The way that's evidence old desires have faded without a fight. The way your soul no longer craves what is to numb the pain. That's not coincidence. That's evidence. That's the language of transition. And I've been speaking to you through it all. Not in chaos, but in quiet calibration. Your new address isn't just where you'll live. It's where you'll breathe, where your promise will stretch out and unfold like dawn over the horizon. Do you remember the times you begged me for direction? The nights you said, "God, just show me something." I did. I showed you in glimpses, in small whispers, in divine delays. I was drawing a map in. I showed you in glimpses the shadows, one only your spirit could follow. Every no you received was a yes to something greater. Every closed door was an act of mercy. Every exit I led you through was an entrance in disguise. You weren't being denied. You were being redirected. This new place isn't just a blessing. It's a reflection of what's changed inside you. You're not the same person who started this journey. You're more whole now, more awake, more sensitive to my presence. I've been removing the noise from your life so you could finally hear me without confusion. Remove the noise from your life. The people who left weren't rejection, they were release. The routines that unraveled weren't punishment, they were preparation. What's been stripped away has made room for what is sacred. You see, child, I never wanted you to carry the weight of what was never yours. That shame, I never wrote it over. You that fear it was never from me. That heaviness, you weren't created to live under it. That's why this move required surrender. I couldn't let you bring the burden into the blessing. I couldn't allow the past to suffocate the promise. You had to leave it at the altar, not because I needed it, but because you needed freedom. And now your soul is lighter, not because everything is perfect, but because you've let go of the illusion that you had to carry it all. You've learned to rest. You've learned to trust me when things made no sense. You've learned that obedience doesn't always feel safe, doesn't always feel safe, but it always leads to peace. And that, my child, is why you're ready. The path ahead is already marked, not in stone but in spirit. I've carved direction into your instincts. I've poured wisdom into your words. I've placed courage in your chest. You don't need a roadmap. You need remembrance, remembrance of every time I came through, every time I met you in the middle of the unknown, every time I turned your weakness into wonder. Don't let fear write your story now. You've come too far, and what waits for you on the other side is bigger than anything you imagined. This is the place where your anointing will stretch its wings, where your dreams will not just breathe, they will run, where divine connections will come without striving, where the heaviness you once thought would never lift becomes a distant memory. You will recognize this place not by what you see, but by what you feel, a peace that settles like soft rain, a knowing that doesn't need explanation, a joy that wells up without warning. That is how you'll know you've arrived. You won't need to fight for your seat in this new space. I've reserved it. I've written your name into the very atmosphere. It will welcome you, it will embrace you, and everything you thought you lost, every delay, every detour, every disappointment will suddenly make sense. It was all part of this moment. The moment where heaven and earth touch in your story, and your spirit finally says, "This is where I belong." Let yourself cry when you get there. Let the tears fall, not from pain, but from recognition. Your spirit has seen this place long before your eyes ever could. It has waited for it. There will be unknowns longed for it, prayed for it in the quiet, and I have answered, not in part, not in pieces, in full. There will still be unknowns. There will still be steps you take without clarity. But I promise you this, I will walk each one with you. You're not entering this space alone. The angels have already gone before you. They've swept the path, prepared the table, flung open the windows of favor. Archangel Michael guards your borders. Gabriel is carrying the final message. Your borders Raphael is restoring what once felt irreparably broken. And your guardian angels, they're closer now than ever. Every step you take is matched by wings beside you. Every breath you draw in this place will echo with my presence. And when you wake tomorrow and everything still seems quiet, don't be discouraged. The move may begin invisibly, but it will not remain that way. Destiny unfolds gently before it reveals its brilliance. Stay patient, stay expectant. I am still arranging the final pieces, still aligning the last threads, still perfecting what concerns. You didn't miss it, you. Trust that the unveiling is near. You didn't miss it. You didn't fall behind. You didn't disqualify yourself. Your obedience was enough. Your tears, your obedience was enough, were enough. Your faith, even the shaky kind, was enough. I never needed you to be perfect. I just needed you to stay close. And you did. You stayed. You listened. You grew. So now, child, pack lightly. Not just in your hands, but in your heart. Let go of what was. Loosen your grip on what hurt. Release the now, child. Pack lightly weight of who you used to be. Because you're not going back. You're not circling the same mountain. You're not repeating the same story. You are moving forward into light, into promise, into a place where you no longer beg for room. You become the room. This address was written in heaven long before you could understand it. And now heaven has declared, it's time. Your new home is not just where you're going. It's who you're becoming, and you're closer than you think.